Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Josie with Awakened Soul, and we are here for a reading about the person on your mind. Today's reading is going to be a style I do not do all that often on my channel, but felt specifically called to get out for you here today. We're going to be chatting about the reason behind the no contact with the person on your mind. So this is a separation reading. If you are currently in communication with your person, this is not the reading for you. However, you may have felt drawn to me as a reader, and if that's the case, you're welcome to head over to my channel and explore my other videos to see if any of them call out to you, because this is strictly for those of you out there who are no contact with this person. It's okay if this no contact started yesterday or a year ago. It really doesn't matter. I set the intention that it would find you when it was meant to find you. So I do hope to give you clarity in this reading here today. We're going to be chatting from your person's perspective, why they went no contact or why they chose to stay in no contact. We're going to get started with the tarot, and then we're going to hop into some other decks as I feel called to or as I see fit, leaving it go with the flow style in today's reading. So the first card up is the World. That's confirming with me that something had ended. And actually, before I pull more cards, I want to elaborate on that a little bit deeper for you. So the World not only talks about endings, it specifically talks about endings of cycles and things coming to a close or completion. So what I am seeing here is a very, very strong message that goes much deeper than surface level no contact. You and this person likely had a soul connection with each other or a soul contract with each other in this lifetime, and that soul contract was fulfilled or it came to a close. If there were patterns that you were meant to resolve in this lifetime with each other, at least one of you chose to close out that cycle and learn the lesson and move away from it. And that is why this person ultimately pulled back their energy from you and chose to go no contact. It was because it was divinely timed to be that way. The lessons had been learned, the cycles had come to a close. This person may not be conscious of that being the subconscious reason behind it, but at like a core level, that is why this person went no contact or stayed no contact. You had fulfilled your spiritual obligation with each other. That cycle had ended, and that's quite common, especially in karmic connections. I mean, I suppose with all soul connections, we can have that. But specifically when it comes to karmic connections and patterns, typically they sort of just fizzle out after the lessons have been learned by one or both parties. They become dull or boring, or the universe kind of just naturally separates the two of you or drives a wedge between the two of you once the cycles have completed. And there was a lot of divine timing at play here with this. Maybe you weren't ready to close out the cycle, but your person was. But I do think that it was divinely timed to happen for a reason between the two of you. So let's get out more information, and I'm going to talk specifically from their 3D self. What was their 3D self thinking and feeling and experiencing to go no contact? Talk to me about that, please. Oop. Okay, we have the Three of Wands, thinking about having a different future or creating a different looking future in their life, okay? Now, I know that this can kind of get heavy just because, you know, if you're watching this, maybe you feel like this person didn't give you proper closure, or it could be that maybe you're still hung up on this person in a way. I'm a very honest reader, so I think it's important that you know that right from the get-go. I don't like to sugarcoat my readings. I tell it like I see it. This person was thinking about what their future looked like, and they essentially could no longer picture a future with you in it. They were looking ahead with curiosity and wonder, and maybe even confusion of what their future would look like. But when they thought about their future, they could no longer see you being a part of it, basically. They were having a hard time picturing a life with you still in it, far off into the distance. This person could have also gone through like maybe a bit of an identity crisis where they felt like they needed something new in their life, and they needed to break away to go rediscover themselves or rediscover what they wanted their life to look like down the road. We also have the Seven of Swords coming out, so there could have been some secrets And what those secrets are, clarified by the Five of Swords. This person was reaching a breaking point, and I don't think that this happened overnight. This was something that was probably well in the making long before they went no contact with you. Now, of course, if this person didn't communicate about this with you, that's not your fault. As grown adults in connections, it's our responsibility to communicate our needs and our wants and our experiences with our partner or with our person. And that's, of course, not your fault that they weren't communicating with you properly. I feel like they were bottling this all up inside. This person was stressed out. I think they were getting stressed by this connection. Maybe the two of you were growing in two different directions, but they never spoke up about that with you. They weren't interested in problem solving or working through those differences. They were instead choosing to bottle it all up inside, keep it closed. 555 on the timer as I looked up. They were refusing to change and grow with you, basically, is what I'm seeing here. Is this person bottled something up for a really long time. They were keeping their emotions and their experience a secret from you. They didn't want to verbalize this to you. They may have even been experiencing headaches or like physical symptoms like insomnia, headaches, stress. And instead of like sitting down with you and being vocal about what they needed or what they were going through, they chose to keep it a secret. And that's part of what drove a wedge between the two of you. And again, sometimes that happens when people grow apart, and if this was a divinely timed event, maybe this was an experience your person needed to go through. When we're talking from like a soul perspective, the soul is neutral, right? And so even though this seems like a bad experience or a negative experience from like a mental or emotional standpoint, this may have just been a lesson that this person's soul wanted to experience, was taking their power back or choosing to, go their own way. I can't speak, I'm not an expert, but what I'm trying to get at here is that this person's spirit, their soul, could have just wanted to have this experience in this lifetime, and this was all a divinely timed event. And maybe your spirit wanted to see the inverse of what that experience was like, especially if it has required you to take your own personal power back or learn how to be more self-reliant or to focus on your own needs, especially if you were like prioritizing this person's needs throughout the longevity of this connection. Maybe it's time for you to focus on what you're wanting and what you want the future to look like, not just what this person wants all the time, right? Okay. We also have the Page of Pentacles. This person could have also received an offer from another person. This could also be a job offer. So with the Page of Pentacles, and I just heard tangible assets, so I don't know. For some of you out there, it could have been a physical object or a physical offering. It could also be that maybe this person was offered like a job that they couldn't refuse, and it would require them to separate with you, or they had to choose between you and this job or you and this other party. And it seems to me like your person may have gone through a period of reflection where they were honestly thinking about what they wanted their future to look like. And when they were thinking about that future, they couldn't picture you in it. Especially if this was a job offer, maybe your person had to travel for it, or maybe it had it would have taken up a lot of their time or energy. And so when they were thinking about the future, they were thinking about how they could even practically make this connection work with you, and how stressed they've already been and how closed off they've already been with you. And that's when they sort of decided to go no contact or stay no contact, because they could no longer find a resolve. They could no longer find a way to make it work. It just wasn't matching up with them. Now, one thing I'm noticing is lots of teals coming through, and most of the cards are teal except for the future-based card. So that could mean something to someone. Maybe your person's favorite color is like teal or greenish bluish, or yours could be. I don't know why that's coming through. It could also be representing like the link between the heart and throat chakra, which would make sense. The heart chakra is green, the throat chakra is represented with blue. And I feel like your person was struggling with being authentic about their emotions. They were struggling with communicating their emotions with you, with being open, okay? And so when your person was listening to their intuition, and trying to picture what their future looked like, they weren't using their heart. They weren't communicating it with you. They were blocked in a lot of ways. So I hope that that cleared things up for you. I hope that that answered some of your questions. What I am going to do next is get you some personal messages from universe, and I'm going to pull you a couple of extras. And I do this to close out the reading to help you remember to bring your energy and focus back inwards towards yourself again. It helps you to bring that focus back and all of your energy back towards you, not necessarily towards this person or this connection. Okay, so if you feel so inclined, you can always take a deep breath or grab a glass of water, pause the video, and envision yourself like, bringing that energy and focus back towards yourself again. That is totally up to you. I know that this hasn't been the happiest of readings, but if it has resonated with you, I would love it if you would support my channel by liking the video. Consider subscribing if you're new. And if you do like this style of reading, since I don't do it very often on my channel, drop a comment down below to let me know, because I would be happy to do them more often if it's something that you find to be valuable to you. Okay, so your first personal message is the rabbit with cleverness. If you have been going through difficult times, it is time to think outside the box to find the solution. This is also a reminder to avoid neglecting your creative side. If you have let creative projects lapse, it may be time to pick them back up again. So especially if you feel like you've been struggling with this change, maybe do something creative that you haven't done in a while, or pick up a new creative hobby or something that's going to bring your energy back up again, bring positive energy into your world. Okay? Your second message is the bluebird. You are being gifted with blessings of happiness and peace. Okay, so happiness and peace are already on their way to you. And then lastly, your affirmation of the day, I highly encourage you to affirm with me. You can do it in whatever way you see fit, but you can also, type it down below in the comments. You can read it aloud or just listen along. Doesn't really matter. Today, I will not be critical. Today, I will not be critical of my appearance or actions. I am perfect the way I am. And yes, you are. I am going to leave this reading here. Have yourself a blessed rest of your day or night, and until next time, bye for now.